Hi everybody, foXnoMad here, and today I want to help you travel smarter by answering some of your most basic, most common questions about traveling to Laos. Now, Laos is a country that I feel like gets forgotten a lot about. It's got Thailand next to it, which is the big tourism powerhouse. Then you've got Vietnam, which is the up-and-coming food destination for a lot of tourists. Cambodia has Angkor Wat, so it's associated with that. It's sort of the Taj Mahal of this region. And then you have Laos. And because it doesn't have yet its sort of defining tourism attraction or draw, it sort of gets left out and forgotten about. So I want to answer some of your basic questions about what it's like to travel here, some things you can do, see, and of course, eat. So let's start off with seasons, and there's basically a dry season and a wet season here. To me, what I think is a really good season to be here is late March and April when that rainy season is rolling in. I have had a couple of thunderstorms while I've been here, and it's not ruined anything that I've been doing out during the day, but the nice thing about it is when those thunderstorms roll through, it is really nice and cool for several hours after. And when I say cool, I mean like 25, 30 Celsius compared to like 40, 45 Celsius. In fact, if you just went out here during the day in Vientiane, for example, you would think that nothing really happens here, that there are no people here. But the truth is, it's just so hot that basically the way the days are arranged here is nothing is really happening during the middle of the day, during the hottest parts of the day, and it's really at night when things start to liven up. So seasons are important, but also the time of the day that you're out and about. Your schedule, your daily schedule is just really gonna have to revolve around the sun. So what is there to see and do here? Well, like I mentioned, there are a lot of temples. Here in Vientiane, you can literally walk a block and see 2 temples. There's just temples everywhere. If you wanna really visit Vientiane and go to Luang Prabang, those are the 2 big cities, big towns that you wanna visit while you're here in Laos. I didn't know a lot about Laotian food before I came here, but it is just really completely taking me by surprise. It's got soups and broths that are reminiscent of Vietnamese food, but also those curries and the spices that are more reminiscent of Thai and Cambodian food. There's also some Chinese influence. It's got a very varied cuisine, and it's hard to kind of pin down what Lao food is, but a lot of that good food is sold on the streets. There's a lot of good street food here. The level of English here with street food vendors, for example, is gonna be a little bit tricky, but almost everybody here has on their phone, and you should too, they've got like a Google Translate, so where you can just talk into your phone and just get the translation. Everybody seems to do that here, and it's really helpful, and it can, clear up any misunderstandings or, get answers to any questions you might have. It's the money, it's the money. And the cost of the food and the cost of just being here is very, very low. You can get an amazing meal. Like if you pay $12 to $15, you're paying for a very high class and absolutely great meal. But I've had some of my best food here for like $2 or $3. Things like doing laundry is also very inexpensive. Entering the temples, most of them are free, or there's like $1 for the major sites. It's very inexpensive to get into these places and to just be around. Food and drinks are pretty cheap as well. Groceries are also not very expensive. We're talking on the scale of a couple of dollars for most things. Most meals are gonna run you $2, $3. Like I said, up to $15, that's like your high-end meal. You can go higher than that, of course, but that's kind of giving you a range of the different kinds of foods and different kinds of meals that you can have. Like I said, it is pretty inexpensive to travel in Laos, even compared to other Southeast Asian countries. I would say though, when it comes to accommodation, for about $80 a night, that's your really nice hotel. That's going to put you into a very classy kind of place. $50 is going to be your run-of-the-mill, decent enough hotel, especially if you want to be in the center of the city. That's for Vientiane. In other parts of Laos, those rates are going to change, but those are the kind of scales to give you an idea of what the cost might be. And I would say, make sure that you load the Loca app. That is basically the ride-sharing app of Laos. They don't use Grab here, which is common in Vietnam and Thailand and Cambodia. That's kind of the ride-sharing app in those countries, which you may be familiar with. But when it comes to Laos, you want to use the Loca app. Now, the Loca app is a buggier app. It's not the best designed app, and it won't always find the address that you're looking for. I've noticed drivers have had to Google Maps to get to where we need to go, and sometimes you'll have to find the address in Google Maps and put it into the Loca app. There aren't a whole lot of drivers either, depending on where you are in the country, and at night there's even less drivers, so make sure that you kind of arrange your transportation. If you're going to be out super late at night, make sure that you know how you're going to get back to your accommodation safely. So you want to just either use Loca app, or maybe have, you know, the place that you're staying or the bar, whatever, call you a cab. Make sure that you know how much it's going to cost to get you back to wherever you're staying. The nice thing about the Loca app is that you can use your credit card. You can tie it into your credit card or debit card, and that way you don't have to worry about dealing with cash with your driver. You can see where you're going. It all makes it a lot easier. You know, it's just like ride sharing anywhere else in the world. Also, if you like tours or guides when you go to a destination, there aren't a whole lot here in Laos. So finding one, like if you want to do a food tour or a temple tour, they're not the easiest to find online. The ecosystem for tours and touring companies here isn't super well developed, so it's going to take a little bit more digging. They don't have a really big online presence, so it's going to be a little bit trickier for you. What I recommend that you do is talk to your accommodation, maybe get in touch with them before you arrive to see if they can find you a guide or hook you up with a tour company to make arrangements for, you know, if you want to do, like I said, food tours or temple tours, something like that. But on your own, Laos is fairly easy to travel. So if you're an experienced traveler, you can do pretty much everything on your own. You can, you know, the street food markets, you can find everything's on maps. You can find out, you know, all the places that you want to see, all the temples, all that stuff. It's actually very accessible, more than it might seem like online. And I think that lack of sort of knowledge online is just because there are not a whole lot of people coming here. So if you're the kind of solo traveler, you want to take on Laos all by yourself, you should be able to do it no problems. So now let's talk about safety. So you might be wondering how safe it is to travel here, what it's like on the streets, what it's like walking around. And a lot of the safety advice is kind of confusing. So if you look up like government, you know, travel websites, or you look up a lot of blogs, you'll see that, you know, purse snatching or, you know, snatch and grabs, and it can make you feel sort of insecure when you get here. Like, what is it like walking around? I'm walking around with this big camera all the time, and I've never felt unsafe or uncomfortable. Locals have told me to just be aware of my surroundings, just use common sense, make sure that, you know, when you're taking a picture with your phone, you know kind of your surroundings. But it's a really calm and sort of, you know, welcoming environment in most places. A couple of little safety things that I like to do is when I'm walking around, if I need to check Google Maps on my phone, I'll just make sure that my phone is not out on the street side. I'll just, you know, walk in, you know, maybe like in front of a shop or something, just a little bit away from the street, check my phone, see where I need to go, or, you know, respond to a message, that kind of stuff. And if I've got my camera and I'm walking by the road, I'll just have my wrist strap on all the time, and I'll make sure that the side of the camera, so if I'm holding my camera in my left hand, I'll make sure that the road is on the right and vice versa, just for some added precaution. You'll be warned about pickpockets in a lot of the markets and a lot of the crowded places. And if you're just using common sense like you would use anywhere else in the world, you should be pretty safe and have a nice experience without any trouble. And even just walking up and down the streets, you'll get approached by tuk-tuk drivers, you know, asking you if you need a ride, you need somewhere to go, offering you tours. But they're all pretty laid back. If you just say no thanks with a smile and just walk on, nobody will keep bothering you, harassing you. It's all pretty chill. And finally, I want to just say that the Laotian people, the people in Laos, are so friendly and so accommodating and so welcoming and so nice. You absolutely feel like a guest here. Now, this might not be the place for you if you really like your creature comforts, if you're a little bit uncomfortable with exotic, I guess, or, you know, just walking around in a place that's a little bit rough around the edges, then Laos might not be the country for you. But honestly, I think for a lot of other people, it's a fantastic destination, well worth coming here on its own. Lots of food, like I said, I'm just going to keep saying that because it's just so much good food here. So I hope this video helps give you some ideas of why you might want to come here, what it's like to actually be in Laos, and some of the, you know, main things that you should see and do while you're here. But if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'll have new videos for you every week, and I'll see you in the next video. I also want to say thank you to all of the really nice people in Laos who've just helped make this trip so amazing. So thank you so much. I've had a great time, and I hope more people visit here, and I look forward to coming back.